11 and lost at sea for 82 hours. Today, we're delving into the tragic and baffling case of Terry Jo Duberval. Prepare yourselves for a tale of survival, mystery, and heartbreak that captivated the world in the 1960s. On November 12th, 1961, a small sailboat named the Bluebell set off from Fort Lauderdale, Florida with the Duberval family on board. Dr. Arthur Duberval, his wife Jean, and their 3 children, Brian, Terry Jo, and Renee, embarked on what was supposed to be a relaxing cruise through the Bahamian waters. But what began as a peaceful family vacation would soon turn into a nightmare that Terry Jo could never forget. On the fateful evening of November 12th, the same day they set off, a darkness descended over the waters and tragedy struck. The crew of the luxury yacht Bluebell consisted of the captain, Julian Harvey, and his wife, Mary Danae. Little did the Duberval family know the couple they had just placed their trust in had harbored dark intentions. The night was calm, but a storm was brewing beneath Julian Harvey's mind. As the unsuspecting family slept in their beds, Captain Harvey made a sinister decision that would shatter their lives forever. The next morning, the tranquility of the Bahamian waters was interrupted by a chilling discovery. A passing merchant ship spotted a small drifting bluebell and noticed something terribly wrong. What they found on the boat would haunt them for years to come. Terry Jo Duberval, just 11 years old at the time, was the sole survivor. She was found floating on a small cork float, exhausted, sunburned, and traumatized. The merchant ship crew members listened in horror as Terry Jo recounted her harrowing ordeal. Her family had been murdered, and the captain, Julian Harvey, was nowhere to be found. The investigation that followed revealed a chilling sequence of events. It appeared that Julian Harvey had methodically killed each member of the Duberval family, one by one. The motive for his heinous act remains a mystery to this day. Some theories suggest financial trouble, some theories suggest a twisted desire for a new life that could have driven him to commit such a monstrous act. But why spare Terry Jo? What twisted logic could explain his decision for leaving her alive? As authorities searched for Julian Harvey, they discovered another startling revelation about his past. It turned out that he was no stranger to tragedy. In 1961, before the Bluebell incident, Julian's previous wife had died in a suspicious boating accident. It raised questions about whether he was involved in her death as well. Could he have been a cold-blooded serial killer, taking advantage of his position as captain to carry out his wicked plans? Who knows? We'll never know. Julian Harvey was eventually found adrift a small dinghy near the coast of Florida. He claimed that the Bluebell had sunk. During the storm and that he was the sole survivor. But his story quickly unraveled under scrutiny, and he was charged with the murders of the Duberval family. During his trial, Terry Jo Duberval's testimony was pivotal in securing his conviction. Yet, even as Harvey was found guilty, he took his darkest secrets to the grave. In 1972, while serving his life sentence, he was found dead in his prison cell, having taken his own life. The tragic case of Terry Jo Duberval haunts us to this day. How did this young girl find the strength to survive such a horrifying ordeal? What demons lurked in the mind of Julian Harvey, driving him to commit such unspeakable acts? Though the case was closed with Harvey's death, questions linger about the extent of his crimes and the motives behind them. Was he responsible for the death of his wife? And were there other victims that we'll never know about? Our hearts go out to Terry Jo Duberval, the sole survivor of a senseless tragedy. May she find some solace in knowing that her story has been shared and her family's memory lives on. Thank you for joining me today. The world is full of mysteries waiting to be unraveled. Stay curious and stay safe.